Hey, my name is Jackson Walker, and this is my employee relations presentation. The two companies I'll be comparing today are Trevi's Pizza, which is a relatively small pizza joint with two locations, both in small towns. One pizza place has a laundromat and a party store connected to it, and it is owned by two people. The other company I'll be comparing is Goyette Mechanical, which is a large plumbing, electrical, and HVAC company based in Flint, Michigan. They have multiple subdivisions and hire hundreds of employees. They also have multiple shops too, which is important to mention, which some of them are relatively far from each other. Anywho, communication styles. In my findings, I noticed that both managers and owners deploy an assertive communication style. This is this communication style is known for being effective managing people. Um, it is sociable yet dominant enough to effectively get your point across while being respectful, which is the main reason why it's so known for being well at managing people if you deploy an assertive communication style. I also found that both companies find value in diversity and inclusion. So at Trevi's, there are a lot of different ages and gender, or a lot of different ages, a lot of males, a lot of females. And then I do live in a predominantly white area, so most of the people that work there are white. However, we are an inclusive company. Um, so another important thing to notice is that at Trevi's, since there are a lot of kids working there that are still in high school, it is important that the boss or manager makes sure to hire employees from different school districts. This is so, you know, if there's a dance going on or spring break, kids might be leaving. Any reason why a high schooler would want to take off school, it is important to know that there will still be enough kids to work that day, basically. This is because Trevi's is kind of in between both locations, really, two school districts, and their schedules don't commonly line up. So, one day, one week, one school might be having a prom, the next week, the other school has their prom, so on and so forth. At Goyette, they aim to have a mix of abilities and skill sets, which this is important too because not everyone that they hire is going to be they're like completely trained, skilled tradesmen. They're hard to come across. So, um, basically, having many people of many different skill sets allows the company to work smoothly, keep employees around longer. And yeah, because I mean, if you've got a lot of people who are really skilled, have a lot of experience, there's not going to be every job that requires their experience. We need people to do labor and to get trained so that, an experienced employee quits, retires, uh, a younger employee getting trained can step into his role and take over. Performance appraisals. At Trevi's, there are not really any formal performance appraisals, and this is mainly due to the fact that Trevi's is kind of like it's kind of a starter job. As I said, there are a lot of high schoolers that work there, but I mean, your performance appraisal is basically up to the discrepancy of the manager. You're probably not going to be asking for much raises or anything like that. I mean, if you make good food and the boss likes you, he might give you a raise, but there's no formal performance appraisal. However, this differs from Goyette where there is. At Goyette, there's a lot of room for advancement and they are a very rewarding company. They will reward you for your good work if you have a positive performance appraisal, as I said. And they are a union, so they do provide a lot of benefits and other promotions. On the other hand, these appraisals too could show you where you're going wrong and what you might need to improve on. So, the importance of training. Both companies' training is very crucial to success. They rely on training. So, while the training at Trevi's is not as thorough, It's just basically how to make food, or if you're a waitress or a waiter, how to do that. Um, it's still very important. Uh, However, at Goyette, the training is pretty thorough. As I mentioned earlier, tradesmen can be hard to come by, and therefore Goyette has to train them themselves, and a lot of time they'll send them to specialized training. An example of this would be if you want to become an electrician, you get sent to some kind of trade school as you start your apprenticeship, or maybe even if the boss likes you a lot and he wants to take over a manager role, he will actually send you to classes to take to become better at doing that. A class such as this one. So, motivation strategies. At Trevi's, waitresses and waiters, they get tips, which can be seen as a form of extrinsic motivation. And then I also think that getting paid weekly can also be motivating. You know, it's always nice. Saturday rolls around, come pick up your paycheck. And then making food that tastes good, looks good, you know, getting the customers saying that the food is great is an intrinsic form of motivation. At Goyette, I think the upward mobility and the benefits that you can receive for being a good employee is a good extrinsic form of motivation. And then service workers may also get tips. And then I think just getting a job done well and having pride in your work is an intrinsic form of motivation. Because, I mean, just take for example, how much times are you rolling with someone who may be a plumber, electrician, a carpenter? They point out a building, they say, I built that. You know, they take pride in their work, they take pictures when they're done. And I also put a quote here from Nickerson, 2023. People seek out new skills and challenges solely because it's the pleasure of accomplishment, which I think anywhere you work, you're going to feel this pleasure of accomplishment. And then management and team building. Both companies have a positive work environment, which is pretty much why I chose to go over them in the first place for both assignments. Management is highly respected, and this is because they're knowledgeable and likable. At Chevy's, we have a yearly Christmas party, and Goya also has a Christmas party, and they will have like monthly breakfast days. Any questions? Thank you.